What is your stance on the responsibility of the community, especially the church, to help people who are struggling with gender dysphoria as the world tries to encourage the disorder? How do we practically help them? That's a great question, and a very complicated one. Here's a couple things. You always start with this. You are called to love your neighbor as yourself. If somebody has gender dysphoria, that's a legit disease, okay? It's a mental illness. It's like any mental illness where you are not experiencing reality in the way that reality is, okay? What you believe or what you're thinking isn't consistent with what's true. That person needs your sympathy, your empathy, your help, your love. The issue with gender dysphoria or transgenderism is that instead of giving those things and helping a person, which we do with every other mental illness, by the way, every other mental illness, when somebody says, I'm thinking this thing, and we know that the thing they're thinking isn't true, we try to help them through therapy, through pharmaceuticals, through all kinds of things to help that person to be healed. Because it's a condition, it's a physical condition that affects your mind, okay? But with gender dysphoria, what we've done as a society is we've said, nope, when somebody says, I am a woman or a man when they are not, what we do is we just immediately affirm it. That's the society now. That's the medical field. It's not just like there are people who are like in this like wacky political place who are doing that. This is the medical, this is the dogma now. If you have a kid, 5-year-old kid, who says to the doctor, it's a boy, okay? And if you need to know how to understand how to check that, look that up, okay? There's some really easy ways to tell. It's a boy and says to the doctor, I'm a girl. The doctor is going to say, yes, you are. Immediately. Has to. That is the protocol. Yes, you are a girl. Now let's talk about what we need to do as you get older to change your body, to mutilate and affect and take drugs on your body to be consistent with the delusion in your mind. And that's what happens, okay? So then they go through, and at a certain age, they're gonna give them puberty blockers so their body doesn't work right. They're gonna, if it's wanting to be a girl wanting to be a boy, they're gonna get testosterone if it's the other way, and so on. And you mess up the body, right? You screw it all up. That's what's happening. So what's your job? Your job is when you see a person who's struggling with this, pray for them. In your heart, right there, pray for them. It breaks my heart. I cannot tell you, when I go and I see somebody who's struggling with this, it breaks my heart, not just because they're suffering with it, but because other people are making it worse for them by telling them that they are going to be able to achieve something they can never achieve. You can't fight God, people. Who hasn't tried that? Anybody been successful? Not me. You can't fight God, and you can't fight His design and His creation. And so when you tell somebody, yes, you are, let's do this surgery, let's do this thing or whatever, because either I'm so worried that you're going to hurt yourself if I don't give you these things or whatever it is, what's going to happen is eventually they're going to realize I can't be this other thing because I wasn't made to be that other thing. The most I can be is a stitched together facsimile, right, of what a man or a woman is supposed to be. It's very sad. It's very sick. So what I say is pray about it. When you deal with people who are struggling with it, show them love and care and affection first. Don't come in and immediately say, you're not a guy, you need to blah, blah. That's not helpful to anybody, okay? When you have a mental illness and the person just tells you that your thing is wrong, that doesn't help. That's not the way to do it. What you do is you show them love and care and attention and affection. And then you lead them to Jesus. Because when they come to Jesus, the Holy Spirit will help do the work in their heart to open them up to hearing about who they are in Jesus Christ. And what we see now is we see all these people who are detransitioning. It's a massive thing. They're detransitioning. Lots and lots and lots of people who were told and affirmed and whatever, many of whom have destroyed their bodies, who are now saying, I can't believe that I was 14 and everybody just let me do this thing. I don't remember, who remembers being 14? Too long ago. Like, I don't even remember, but I can tell you one thing I definitely remember. I was dumb. Like, and I don't mean dumb like I didn't have an intellect. I didn't know how to make good decisions at 14. If I had said, I've decided I want to be a woman at 14 years old, my parents said, yay, we're going to be really popular on Instagram now that we have a trans child. Look, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. And then the doctor and whoever did all this stuff to my body, and then all of a sudden I can't do the things a man can do once I turn 18 and realize that was a phase and silly, and God made me to be this, and now my body's destroyed. This is evil, what we're doing to people. It's not evil to have gender dysphoria. That's just an illness. It's a physical illness that causes mental issues. That is not the person you should be upset with. The person you should be upset with are the people who are harming them. That's who you need to be upset with. That's who you also need to pray for, that their heart would change, because I don't know if you know this. It's a secret. Lost people, they act like lost people. I know. So they're deceived. They're not waking up in the morning twisting their mustache. They truly believe this puts them on the right side of history or whatever. They really believe that. They think what they're doing is right. They're just so deceived. It's a perversion of the truth, right? And so for the transgender person, for the person with gender dysphoria, love, affection, relationship. Invite them over to your house. Show them care. Don't get worked up about their pronouns and all this kind of stuff. That's not the thing. The pronoun thing, that's more of an issue between employers and employees who are being forced to do something. Okay, that's an issue of free speech. That's protecting the fundamental understanding that we have as Americans. That's a different thing. With an individual, just call them the name that they say their name is, okay? Because if they would have told you their name was Lauren when their name was, when they were a guy and they said that my name is Lauren, you'd have been like, I didn't even know there were a guy's named Lauren. You just would have called them that. So just call them the name they ask and love them and care for them and pray for them and pray with them and lead them to Jesus. No one gets healed by simply being told that they're wrong. That's not how you get healed. Only God heals. Love these people. Honestly, we have to, guys. We cannot come off as something that we're not. We're Christ followers. We love people. We stand strong with the truth, but we love people. And so when you have the opportunity to be around people in communities that are unbiblical, your job is to go to them and see God transform them. Jesus didn't go hang out with the tax collectors because the tax collectors were good. He hung out with the tax collectors to draw them to what was good himself. So when you are around those people, pray for them, pray with them, love them, build relationships with them, help them. Be the one that's actually helping in their life. All these people who are like, go, 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 do the thing. They're not helping. What you can do is you can actually look to their real needs, whether those are physical needs or spiritual needs or whatever, and actually be somebody. Don't just stand on the sidelines and say, this is gross and sick and I can't believe it. That's true. It's true that it's an evil thing that's happening, that the society is starting to buy into this. But it's not true that these people, God doesn't love them. He does love them. And your job is to be his hands and feet and to love these people. So love them. Don't get worked up about all the political side of that. You can do that in the voting box. You can do that when you're speaking on those kinds of issues about those people. But to the actual person who's suffering, think of them as a person who's suffering and who's deceived, and do what you would do for any person who was suffering and deceived. Lead them to Jesus.
Pastor DRob.